indie game that was provided via Keymailer thanks to the publisher. I really appreciate the publisher providing me a review copy of this playtest key. It's called Financial Freedom, and the description of the game was, why can't games teach as much as books? I read 50 business books and trainings and made a useful, funny game about businessmen's journeys. So follow the story from factory worker to millionaire. And that seems like a fun little diversion. I'm curious about this experimental game that seems like the developer genuinely wanted it to be useful and educational. And as somebody with a bunch of all my fingers in a bunch of little tiny business pies so much of the time, I'm curious about this game, honestly. But it's a story-driven platformer that's not a retelling of business books, but just like a personal interpretation of this developer of the business books that they have had to read. And in the game, the protagonist attempts to become a successful business person, buying and selling goods and services, building businesses, earning money, increasing their cash flow, and as an entrepreneur, you'll face numerous difficulties and setbacks, and like starting out as a factory worker and gradually learning financial literacy and increasing your income should get you where you need to go in the game. There's also like a little bit of house hopping mechanics similar to like Night in the Woods, which is one of our favorite games on this channel, which would be interesting. Which will allow us to interact with optional characters or find diaries with more useful information. It is linear and it's a bit cozy, and I'm curious about this linear, cozy, story-driven platformer that is meant to also teach financial literacy to people. I'm worried about how it might come across. We'll see. But it was made and published by a developer who just goes by Noob. And it comes out on the last day of this year. So this is just an early playtest. It should only be about an hour of playtest. And it's fully copyright-free music, so we won't have any issues streaming it. And there are no embargoes or anything, so I'm just going to stream it directly rather than worrying about waiting. So let us... Oh, I did like the music. Let's watch the trailer super quick. And then we'll get into it, huh? Also, hi, Frank and Faye. I think it's so funny to me. Personally, I think it's so funny that the only voice acting is the FBI bursting in. And everything is, you know. I think that's so silly. Yeah, Dreaded, I mean, millionaire and billionaire are a little bit different. I've known people who actually have had a shocking amount of financial success while treating their employees exceptionally well. So I don't think it's impossible to become a millionaire without exploit. It's very rare and it's very hard. Billionaire, impossible. Even like as you get up into the many millions, probably impossible. But I have known people who made money and their businesses were so successful because of how well they treated their workers. So it's kind of doable, maybe. Okay, let's see what this game is like, huh? Again, I really like the soundtrack. That's okay. I mean, again, it's very rare. It's super rare. But yeah, I don't know. I've known people whose businesses started with just like them and their spouse working because they weren't going to get employees until they could pay them actual living wages, which was also kind of ballsy, and then working their way up to actually having multiple employees that were paid pretty well, and then their business is kind of exploding. And it wasn't in the last few years, I will give them that, because it took a while. But after like a decade, they were doing really, really well and had like multiple locations. And there's no like, you did well, it's a pizza party. It's like, you did well, everybody's getting like a massive bonus. But they took a lot of people with them on the journey. The dream. Yeah. Absolutely 1000% the dream. If I was rich tomorrow, the way that I'd be funding all of my friends' businesses, like getting off the ground and like donating to all my pals like Kickstarters and stuff, and subscribing to every single streamer I love on on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, I would just be like, I would have a Gomez Adams approach to finance if I was rich. There was this episode of the original TV franchise where, like, the original Addams Family TV series, where somebody meets Gomez and is like, so you're the richest guy in town? And Gomez is like, not for long if I have anything to say about it, because he's just like supporting everybody and like community efforts and giving so much to charity and school plays, and like he's just constantly like, oh, you need money and I have money, but and I think that'd probably be me. I'd be like, I have more money than I need and you don't have money, here you go. Thank you for playing Financial Freedom. This is a story-based game that conveys popular knowledge from business books in a more interesting and fun format. You will learn the story of a factory worker who decided to build his own business and faced various ups and downs along the way. I tried to collect different tips from different people, so it's okay if some of the tips don't suit you. Just try to find something valuable for yourself in this little game, and I hope you enjoy. They're showing all this nonsense on TV again. Damn corporations. Okay. I will also say that I wish that we still lived in the world that like my grandparents' generation grew up in sometimes. Not in some ways. Obviously, in some ways, we're doing a little bit better. I say a little bit better because we backslid so much. But, my, like, grandfather's sister and her husband, for example. Now, mind you, they're not the example I was talking about before of modern friends who are peers who manage to get enough business loans and start their own business and take a huge loss and max out all available credit to them, but manage to come through that and very successful. Which is as much luck as it is anything else, right? Like, they had a good business plan and everything, but they ultimately, it comes down to a lot of luck that went the way it did. But my great aunt and her husband, their county didn't have good enough municipal waste management yet. And so they bought a garbage truck from a bigger city. And then my aunt drove it and he put the garbage in the back. And then they just like had specific houses, like everybody pay them, right? Like Waste Management does now. They were paid. And then when they made enough money and had enough clients for their route to be too busy, then they got a second truck from the city, like the nearest city. They got a second truck, and then they hired 2 employees, and then each of them drove and had an employee throwing garbage in the back. And then once they had a little fleet, enough that they were basically their town's whole waste management system, and like they had a bunch of clients and everything was great and they weren't really going to expand more, then they bought a apartment building and they turned it into rent controlled apartments, with like a cap on rent. And then they managed that while their waste management company was pretty much entirely sustained by their employees, and they just had to do all like the paperwork and like account management and stuff. But the trucks and everything were all basically self-sustained. And then they once they could hire a manager for the apartment building, then they did that, and they could just manage all their little businesses. But like, they changed their town by becoming both waste management and also landlords, but like for rent controlled. They ended up across a couple counties owning 7 rent controlled apartment buildings and being the garbage for 2 small towns in adjacent counties. In the long run, that was like their main 2 things. And they ended up going from like super poor, like from the Dust Bowl in the Great Depression, super poor, to, by the time they died, which was shockingly not that many years ago for the latter of the 2 of them to go. But he had my great aunt died first, and then her husband was still around, and they ended up with about 5 mil, even like living a very lavish lifestyle at the end of their lives and blowing their money a lot and living in like obnoxiously fancy houses in expensive areas of California, and kind of just balling in the end. And I'm glad that they always put their employees first, and they were really good landlords to their tenants and took care of everything and were constantly trying to upgrade their buildings while maintaining the rent control and stuff. And then I have had friends that have had like very similar trajectories where it wasn't as drastic, but like I mentioned with my friend's business, like they ended up doing very well for themselves. It took like 9 years the first 4 years were really painful to watch for them. But by the end, they came out of it and are doing shockingly well. I'm also curious if this game is going to, like, when it says you become a millionaire, like, I'm wondering if that's going to be, I wonder if in the end that's going to contain, like, be only liquid assets, or how that's going to balance out. Oh no, Faye, I've idolized Addams Family for, like, ever. But no, that part of, like, the ability to, like, have a dream and just make it happen of some of the past economy, that'd be cool. if we have to, like, in a socioeconomic and geopolitical way, be living through the 1920s and 30s right now, I would take a couple other aspects of that. You know? The Munsters and Addams Family, nice. Good to see you. Today's your last day. Shame. That's okay. Don't bother me. I had a sleepless night and a sleepless life. Took a bag with me as a pillow. Maybe I'll be able to nap somewhere. Do you want to hear a joke? Sure. Me too. Oh no. Don't bother me, buddy. Today's your last day on the job, not mine. I don't want management giving me another hard time. In your free time, when you're in the city, find me. I'll be on the roof, looking at the sea. I have an idea. How am I supposed to find you? Be on the east side, just above the bridge. You'll see. Okay. Okay. What kind of factory is this? It actually weirdly feels like a recycling center, which is, or like waste management, awkwardly enough. Oh, I missed a bottle. That's okay. Yeah, it's definitely a recycling plant. That's so funny. I did not know that that was the kind of factory we were going to be in this game. It was not intentional to tell this story at the same time. Oh, I would have sorted for longer. Hello, Mr. Cat. How you doing? How's life, bro? I'm happy for you. I just finished my last day of work at the plant. On the one hand, it's great because I'll have lots of free time, but on the other hand, I probably won't be invited to another shift because there's so many people interested. Yeah, Mr. Cat, I have enough money to last us the rest of our lives. We have $30. If, of course, we die before tomorrow evening. But don't worry. We'll think of something. Right now, I just really want to sleep. That's me. Yeah, it's weird that they're calling us a recycling center, some form of sorting facility. The plant. Yeah, okay. Half-Life 3, that's so funny. Knowledge cards. Prawn. Best classifieds board on crieslist.org. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
12 hours.
And then we sleep for 12 hours too? Oh my gosh. You scared me, Mr. Cat. Good morning to you too. I've been so tired at work these days that even after sleep I feel tired. I need more rest. How do I relax? I treat myself to something, lift my spirits, relax, you know? I've got an idea. I'll watch TV. Womp womp.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
This is the
boy.
police! We have you surrounded!
Oh, no, no.
Like you say, I'll send you some time.
Hold on. This is so loud, but it's so funny. Why am I not seeing this game in my sound? Huh. Alright, well that really lifted my spirits. We're just gonna turn this down internally then. That was so loud. Now I have absolutely nothing to do, and they say that moments of solitude can be the most important in our lives. And what's important about that? I don't know why I live. I want to start trash again. I don't want to sort trash again. I want something more. Do you hear me, universe? Well, a book just got chucked through my window by angels, I guess. Pew. Someone broke my window with a brick? But how? I live on a pretty high floor. Wait a minute, that's not a brick. Some kind of book. And what will it say? An advertisement for new windows? The book's called Financial Freedom. And it's relevant. And the delivery convenient. Although actually scary. So about the author. Preface. Now you want to become successful, you need to... Why is the FBI in my house? I live on a high floor. How did your car get here? Who are you? What are you doing in my apartment? I'm the author of this book. Ooh. Author, but how did you get here? Because I'm not real, I'm just in your imagination. Oh, okay. You see, when you read the book, it's like having a conversation with its author. Oh, that's an interesting way to look at reading. I'm only here metaphorically to help you change your life for the better. Got it? Or should I punch you in the face? I understood. This is actually pretty cool. I always thought I was capable of so much more, but what should I do? To become financially free, you don't need to sell your time, but rather create sources of income that will generate profit whether you're working or not. That sounds convenient. How do I create something like that? Do I need some startup capital? You can do that. You can do it that way if you want. And where am I supposed to get it? I was already poor, and now my job is gone. You ask a lot of questions. That's good. But I want you to find the answer yourself. See ya. Where are you going? What should I do? Great. Just great. Maybe the answer is closer than I think. Well, it's definitely not going to be replacing my window. The computer will be useful later. I won't sell the plant. I like it too much. Okay. Can't sell the bed. The floor's too cold to sleep on. Okay. I don't need to go out yet. Exactly. I can sell some of my things online. Nice. I don't need any of these things. My apartment's gonna be absolutely Spartan by the time I'm done with it. Hell yeah. Don't even know what that was other than... I mean, it was a light source, clearly, but... Just kidding, I'm not gonna... Long live minimalism! Now I have the money to start my business, and I don't have to go back to the factory. But tomorrow. It's been a long day. It's late and I'm tired. It's time to get some sleep.
12 hours.
A lot of 12 hours later. Meow. You wanted to scare me again, right? So I'd wake up in a panic. In vain, Mr. Cat. In vain. I'm already alert and full of energy, and I'm worried. What awaits me today? I've already raised startup capital, and I'm ready to jump headfirst into a world of big business. Yo. This is ridiculous. I am worried about what kind of business we're going to end up in. It's at a pretty high floor, but I'm on the second floor. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Strategist diary. If you're running really late for your flight and the ticket agent is rude to you, you won't waste time arguing with her when you're already late. When there's a goal, it's that weird woman isn't for me today. When you see somebody arguing with a cashier at a checkout, cutting off somebody in traffic, taking revenge on somebody else, etc., it's an indication that they don't have a greater purpose in life. Whoo, scathing. I mean, I do like shaming people who are rude to retail workers, though. It's like, I don't hate that. I don't hate shaming people who are rude to retail. Sounding hurting and unfair, clearly angry at something and possibly hungry. This isn't the safest area. They say somebody lives underground here, but I like it here. You play the guitar great. Cool. I'll donate $1 to that guitarist. See a big weird guy standing there? It's like he's guarding something. Been sitting here a long time. My memory's been failing. Maybe for $1 I can remember something. Yeah, I remember. He's standing on some kind of hatch guarding an entrance. Also, sometimes a scientist comes in there too. A young one and an old one. I don't know anything else. That's what I thought. Okay, good luck. Hey, what are you doing here? What are you standing on? Guarding the secret entrance to the lab. I mean, I'm just standing here, that's all. There's nothing here. Go away. But, if you find out the password, come back. But there's still nothing here. Yeah, okay. Yike. Bridge, we're building a bridge. Coming soon. Ooh. Poor guy works 2 jobs. I don't think I could do that. I've been there before. Building a bridge. Please step aside. Don't interfere with professionals. Learn construction at the... I learned construction in Age of Empires. Amazing. Okay, I can't go in there. Got it. What a big rat. What's that? You have a coupon for a free walk? Advertising on rats is something new. Well, why not? I need to go to Pak Wok restaurant. Oh no. Not advertising on rats. Oh no. Welcome to Pak Wok. I found a coupon for a free walk. Congrats, here's your free walk. Thank you, yum yum. This walk is so big. Maybe I should feed some to that mean dog. Hell yeah, brother. Here you go, evil puppy. Diary of a sad dog. Woof woof. Huh. Hold on. Let's see. What's the diary of the weird dog's voice? Woof woof. Dear diary. There are no words to describe the humiliation I felt. An angry man hit me with a stick because he was splashed by a car whose driver was angry about a scratch on the door made by a child who was upset with his parents, upset by the injustice. I was just ready to bite somebody, but he treated me with noodles and meatballs. Evil roams the world until someone finds the strength to respond to evil with good. Yeah, that sounds like a dog's diary. Sure. I'm here for that. That sounds right. You know, so far I don't hate the lessons in this game. Good afternoon. Are you a merchant? Hey kid, yeah, I'm a street merchant. How much is one street now. I don't sell streets, I sell on streets. Then I want to buy some interesting product wholesale. What do you have? Well, we've got tablets, MP3 players, and VR headsets. Oh, do you have anything cheaper? Flash drives are available. I'm buying flash drives. Great. Need delivery? That'd be wonderful. Okay, thank you for your purchase. The items will be delivered to your home soon. I just bought $200 off of a street merchant of unidentifiable flash drives. What is wrong with me? Oh my god. What? That's so bad. Hi, Benny. Benny. Welcome in. Thanks for claiming your daily treat. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see ya. Whoop. Hi. A bicycle on a roof. I bet it belongs to that merchant. Developer's diary. I used to have constant problems with motivation. In my opinion, the most important thing in business is to be happy. There's a lot of advice out there to increase your chances of success, but none of it made sense to me when I was working solely for the money. My motivation really took off when I asked myself, what am I willing to create even for free? And if I lived in a perfect world where everyone had access to everything, what would I do happily every day? Oh, you know, I mean, obviously that's not going to make everyone a millionaire. But I do think it is an interesting thought exercise to ask yourselves those kind of questions and see if there is a career path to that from where you are now. Diary of a Genius. Success is achieved through strengths. Weaknesses can be overcome, for example, through partnerships. A brilliant artist can be remembered for his creative abilities, and no one will ever care about his physical strength. Yeah, okay. Again, I don't think this is perfect advice, but I definitely think it's interesting to think about. Oh, what a horror. I just pushed him off the roof. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to talk. I need to check if he's alive. Do I? He's not moving. Wait a minute. Just a mannequin in a suit. Who left that on the roof and why? And most importantly, for what? Okay, well, I didn't just murder a man in cold blood. That's good. That's good. Good. Perfect. Let's get back up there. See if I can jump on that drone. You know, I ask myself similar questions a lot. When it comes to like what I'm doing as a creator. What am I willing to create even for free? What am I not willing to create for free? If this was a perfect world where I had all the resources, oh god. And you know, everybody wasn't struggling for everything all the time, what would I be doing? Would I be doing this? Would I be doing something else? What are the paths to the things I want to be making and doing? Like, those are all important, and those kinds of questions have led me to where I am, though I still ask myself and kind of correct course sometimes. I don't think there's a finding an answer and then being done move here, but I think it's interesting insight in yourself. Startup diary. Money is made on trends. Facts. Most successful people who start from the very bottom made their capital because they were the first to launch a business in a niche where demand was just beginning to grow. And they were able to establish themselves there. In increasingly popular niches, creating customers typically requires less effort than traditional niches. It's easier to get started, and the market may be more forgiving to your mistakes. Sure. Okay, I can't talk to them. Oh no! Well, wait. Dang. Oh, wait, can I jump on? Oh, wait, can I jump up these? Hold on. Oh. Oh, it's that guy from the factory yesterday. Whew. Hello. It's not easy to get here. So what did you want to tell? Look ahead. You can see the other shore from here. Yes, I know they're building a bridge between districts. What do you think about the area on the other side? Well, it looks cool. Everything's so new and glass, expensive apartments and sports cars. Why do you ask? Because we'll live there too, bro. One day. I like your optimism, though. I can't boast the same. You smile even when things aren't going well, and you don't care what anyone thinks. Hold on a second. Whoop. Yeah, saturated markets are niche, or saturated markets are hard. Having to fight monopolies. I think what it was trying to say was find something that you are passionate about and willing to struggle for in niches that aren't oversaturated yet, if possible. But it's easier if you're not the very first one and you're in a budding market, which is very easy to say, and it's easier said than done. But I think it was trying to say, like, what's an example? I'm trying to think of a good example locally. Well, okay, so there are businesses. I know that there are businesses that exist in other states or in other areas that we just don't have a market for here yet. So I think what it's trying to say is using examples like those where you know that people enjoy those things and that a market exists for that, and then doing your own spin on it. You're likely to find customers if you try really hard and you market hard enough and you do all the things, because the trend already exists out in the world somewhere. And because it already exists somewhere, people are more likely to forgive your early mistakes than if it's something super oversaturated or there's no examples of other people doing it at all in the world yet. So there's like a sweet spot where forgiveness can exist easier, I think is what it meant. And that does make sense and does seem to be how business tends to be working nowadays. I wasn't always like this. I just realized something earlier. One day on the street, I saw a man walking, laughing for no apparent reason. And do you know what I thought about him? That he was a happy man. No, I thought he was crazy or stupid. I mentally judged him. And guess how many times I smiled after that? I actually walked around with a sad face. And then I thought, who did I actually condemn? Turns out you were just condemning yourself. Exactly, bro. Exactly. By the way, I wanted to gift you something, but the delivery is late. So next time, okay? Sure, no problem. I hope there's something really dangerous and forbidden there. Yeah, wait, just kidding. The gift is here, actually. Here it is. Oh, a scooter? Cool, thanks, bro. I have a scooter now? Can it jump? Can it bounce on tires? Oh, sick. Okay. Okay, what about you? What's happening here? Oh, cool robot vacuum. Thanks, but it's not a robot vacuum cleaner. It's a robot for... Well, actually, I haven't figured out exactly what it's for yet. I just like working with technology. It has a camera and wheels and a built-in computer and a voice module. Cool, I like technology too, but I don't understand anything about it. If you need any help, just let me know. I might need some of it soon, but for now I just need to finish it. The Elder's Diary. Every day we have a limited amount of energy and time. We choose where to spend them, like chips on a roulette wheel. Every negative comment, argument, thought about news articles, or opinion we disagree with means that we're placing chips in these fields. Every time we have a little less and less of the chips of our energy. This is an extremely limited resource. Yeah, okay. Whee! Okay. Well, sorry for killing that man. Wow, the box has already arrived, and so quickly, and right into my apartment. How did they get inside? Okay, main thing for now is to list the goods online. Sure. Can't believe our business is going to be selling flash drives. Yeah, boy. Great. I put the product up for sale online. When customers call, I'll deliver the goods and make a profit. Done deal. I just have to wait. I could walk around the city or play video games or think of something. No, I can't. I sold my TV. I thought success could come to those who know how to connect to the right people. Yeah. Yeah, connecting to people is an important part of it for sure. One of the most successful people I know, dude made like high 6 figures a year. Freaking wild. And he worked in the tech sector. That's all I'll say about his specific job. But he constantly talked about, like, yes, he had the knowledge for the things, but how before he even had all the knowledge for his job, he had managed to connect the right people to get that job. And that's the only reason why that worked out for him the way that it did. I think luck and connecting with people are major factors in success, and skills and knowledge alone will not get somebody there without the other things. It might be possible, but I've never even like heard anecdotally that actually working for people. It's usually the knowledge and the skills, and then connections, network, you know? Hello, do you want to buy flash drives? Yes. Wholesale? Hello, welcome to the dental clinic. Sweet tooth, take care of the promotion, blah, blah. Oh, it's an advertisement. Why aren't clients calling? I'm starting to worry.
12 hours later.
Another 12 hours later, perfect. Houston, we have a problem. Clients are not calling. We need to ask the guy from the book. Hey bro, did you call me? I raised seed money, I purchased a product, I posted it online, but nobody's even buying it or showing interest. I'm panicking. I spent all my money on it. What am I supposed to do? Oh god. Pull yourself together, man. It's okay, just what's okay? Nothing's okay. What am I supposed to do now? I'm just a teeny particle in a vast universe, and let's figure out what went wrong. Breathe easy. You'll laugh about this situation in the future. Okay. I'm fine. Great. Don't worry so much. What do you think the problem is? Oh no, I bought a lot of flash drives. Everyone needs flash drives, right? Or should I buy something else? No, I don't have any startup capital. Maybe I take out a loan? Take out a loan to repeat your mistake, but then end up in debt? I highly recommend against doing this. Oh, I have several consumer loans. It's not ideal, but it doesn't change the overall strategy. In any case, the path to financial freedom lies through creating sources of income. Continuing to work at the factory will require much more time to pay off the loan. That's kind of reassuring. So you can't take out a loan to start a business if you can't take out a loan to start a business, then you can't take out a loan for regular purchases either. So is it illegal to use a loan at all? Not quite. Yes, taking out loans to buy things that don't generate income makes you poorer. It's also not a good idea to take out a loan to start a business, as the risk of failure is high and your risk is being in debt. But when you already have a stable business, you can take out a loan to improve it. What if I fail again? Yeah, that can happen, and making mistakes is normal. The chances of you launching a profitable business are small, but your overall chance of success is extremely high. What do you mean? I don't understand. Actually, okay, hold on. This actually makes sense so far. Not all of the advice so far applies to everyone. And sometimes needs must when the capitalist devil drives, right? But it is good advice to remember that your odds of making mistakes as you start your business is very high. And that your chance of making a profitable business, especially immediately, are very slim. But as long as you don't blow all of your capital, then your odds of success stay high because you can keep adjusting the business until you run out of capital, until it's salient enough that you can do other things with it. That actually does make sense. And like, I've been there with like some retail stores I worked, like game stores that I worked at, where, you know, that's already a hard industry and there was limited starting capital and everything. And then adjusting incrementally and like figuring out how to change what you're trying until you have regulars and they like the events that you're doing and you have the right ratios of types of inventory between card games and board games and TTRPGs and accessories and snacks and like all the things. Like, you can keep trying and adjusting as long as you still have the funds to do that. But blowing all of your money on something and hoping or taking out loans that you can't afford to pay back as a giant gamble have been the reason why most of the stores that I've worked at that closed within their first 3 years closed. Whereas the stores that stayed open kept doing the like, okay, what do I adjust? What do I try now? Which, that little bit of inventory is gone. What do I replace it with? Because I don't think I should replace it with the same thing again because that took so long to sell. And so like, yeah, this technically is correct. So far, so good. And again, it doesn't apply to everything all the time. And this is taking extremely nuanced conversation and turning it into like fun, story-driven game dialogue. So hopefully anybody who actually wants to learn about these things will take this advice and then actually look up more on the topics and do a bunch more business research and hopefully talk to some professional advisors. But this isn't inaccurate, you know? But there is a lot more connecting to the right, like connecting to people and asking people the questions and getting the advice and research and not blowing all your capital on flash drives like we just did. And forgiving early mistakes. Like, all of this is important so far. Building a rapport and especially with both your suppliers and your customers, finding the right demand for your supplies or services, like all of these things track, you know. You think you'd be a lot further if you were better at connecting with people. You worked too hard physically and that turned into a deterrent. See, whereas I can't work super hard physically because of physical limitations, but I'm great at connecting with people. So I was always great at connecting with business contacts and working on contracts and working with customers and clients and suppliers and wholesalers and all of those types of things, whether it was when I worked on contracts for organizations and venues and hotels and the like, or when I worked retail, the connecting with people part was always the easiest part. People like you, Dreaded Madness, need people like me. And vice versa. Sometimes one person can't be the whole business alone. Okay, in theory, it's simple. When you build a business, you're playing a game of low odds. The odds are always slim, but you have unlimited tries so long as you only lose when you give up. Or if you run completely out of capital or the ability to get more. Okay, so since I don't have money for a new business, what should I do? Well, to start a business, startup capital is not required. But how is that possible? And if startup capital isn't necessary, then why did I sell all my things? Raising startup capital by selling things was your idea. I just didn't try to talk you out of it. Besides, I'm just information from a book, materialized by your own vivid imagination. You sold the TV, so your chances of success have increased slightly. I think you know why. As for the startup capital and the mistake, now that you've invested in a product without even knowing in advance whether it could sell or would sell, let's do it differently. You won't risk investing all your money until you know it'll pay off. The plan is this. Thanks for whispering so the player can't hear. Wow. And if they ask, what should I answer? Sounds logical. Yeah. Was that even possible? How come I didn't think of that myself? Got it. But why whisper? Makes it more fun. See you later. Poof. Okay. So... I can't access these yet.
Welcome.
There's no time to explain. I need to take pictures of all the products you have. Okay, take a picture. Here they are. Okay. Phone. Oh no. I see what's happening. Books. Case. Glasses. Tablet. MP3 player. There's one last thing to photograph. VR headsets. Great. Now I need to post all these pictures online of products I do not own an inventory of. I see what's happening here. Yeah, boy. Photos taken, products posted. Now all that remains is to wait for calls from people who want to buy the goods that I don't have. Cool. Well, no, what he's doing is... Okay. What he's doing isn't scalping per se, because the guy he took the pictures of is a wholesaler for him. So what he's saying... The advice here that's clearly happening is you don't have to buy the full inventory or have a full inventory of every single item you're going to sell through an online store in advance. And like a couple of my friends' stores in the area even do this with their wholesalers for their physical stores to a degree. Where what it's saying is let your customers know everything that's available to you through your wholesaler. And then if you're local to your wholesaler, which we are in this case, or can get it the next day, to order things on demand. Sort of like how a lot of streamer merch works this way, right? Where you have the products listed digitally online, but then the products become available on demand as people order the t-shirt or order the notebook or whatever, rather than you having all of them in your house in boxes waiting to sell. It recommended on demand sales. So this person's going to buy one of the things we just listed, and then we're going to go buy that thing from the guy outside who sells them to us for wholesale costs. And then we'll ship out the thing that we bought for wholesale because of this person to this person after they bought it. I'm betting you anything that's what's happening here. Because the guy was selling it to us wholesale before. I'm calling about the MP3 player. I need it delivered to my home. Do you still have them? Yeah, something like that. Right now, it's my son's birthday and I forgot to buy him a present. I'm pretending I did not forget. Triangulate the signal from my phone. Time is running out. What? I'm not the FBI. How am I supposed to do that? Just tell me your address. Yes. I live in the eastern part near the bridge. Okay, I'll be there soon. Yeah, I think what we're doing is we're buying it wholesale as the demand appears. And then we're selling it at MSRP as they're purchased. Hey boy, haha, I'm listening. I found a buyer for an MP3 player, but I don't have the money to buy it. Can I take the player now and then pay for it in a few hours? So you want a player now and you'll pay for it later? Sorry, man, but I'm not used to that. I always charge for my products and then deliver them. I know. This sounds unusual. But I can only steal your player once. You'll definitely give me nothing the second time. But if I'm honest, I can help you sell a lot of goods online. But you recently bought a bunch of flash drives, right? You can't just afford one player now. Yeah, I bought it, but now the money's gone and I haven't been able to find anyone to buy the flash drives yet. But there's a buyer for the player, and he's waiting for his player right now to give to his son at his birthday party. Show me a little trust, and I promise you won't regret. This is bad. This is bad advice. This here, not good advice. But the other principle actually kind of works. We'll talk about that again in a minute. What a fiery speech. Thanks. Trust me and I will save the city. Okay, kid, you convinced me. Take the player. But if you let me down, I'll definitely never trust anybody ever again for the rest of my life. Okay, great. I'm assuming we already have the player. I'm going to pretend like we already have the player in our inventory. Okay. Where's this dad? Good afternoon. It's for me, finally. My son is starting to suspect I don't have a gift. Payment, bye. Okay, goodbye, that was weird. My first sale, nice. Whew. I should have, of course, agreed with the merchant in advance. Good thing that he agreed. Okay. So, instead of doing it that way, you should always have the seller, or the creator of the product, or wholesaler, or whatever. You should always have that secured in advance if it's not you. But I also know artists who do this, right? Where, let's say, they have prints that they sell online, but they actually make the prints themselves and then ship them out. It's not like an on-demand seller that they're selling them through. They have all of them. They will often have duplicate ones listed online and then just only go hit the print shop when the print is actually bought, rather than having like hundreds of the prints laying around their house all the time that they already paid for. That kind of stuff where it's like you make the product once and you know the turnaround time for making the product and then you sell it is how pretty much most of Etsy works. which is why so much of Etsy is like a week turnaround time before they mail it, is because most of them, they've made a number of those things and they have the pictures of the things, but they can sell more than they've made as long as they continue to have the product supplies available, if not the product itself. Or for prints or other things where you know the print shop up the road can have it to you same day and you can just hit the post office on the way home, it works. And I know stores where their wholesalers have an arrangement where they can advertise things that they can custom order for you. I'm going to go back to a game store I worked at, for example. Like, we had catalogs of Chessex dice, for example. And you could go through the catalog and go, I want this and this and this and this sets of dice in these colors and patterns. And we'd be like, cool, you'll have them. We'll call you as soon as they arrive over the weekend. You can pick them up by like next Tuesday. And so we would do that, and then we didn't have to carry every single kind of Chessex dice. We just had to carry the most popular ones and then some like individual dice loose. But if you wanted something that we didn't carry, you could still order it through us. So things like that are totally possible and worked and often were lucrative. But yeah, don't not tell the wholesaler in advance. Here's a payment. I think I found more buyers for your goods. I have enough money for some. But if not, will you offer them on deferred payment? Okay, kid, you win. You can take the goods and pay for them when you sell them. And that is sort of consignment. That's okay. I saw your ad online. You sell electronics and accessories? What are you interested in? Tell me more about glasses. Well, they're black metal and plastic glasses. They're $9. Hinged anti-glare coating. The black color makes the glasses the perfect complement to any look, whether it's business or casual. Lens width is 5 centimeters. Temple length 14 centimeters. In the winter, sunglasses protect your eyes from glare on snow and wind and eye irritation and dryness. And in the summer, they protect it from sun. So why is it so harmful to look at the sun? Well, when ultraviolet rays hit the retina, they provoke the formation of free radicals, oxidizing surrounding tissues and destroying photoreceptors. What is 2352 multiplied by 1035? Can anyone escape from a black hole? What if an overheated quasar... Great. I want to order glasses and a tablet. Okay. Do you have anything to ask about the tablets? You're asking too many questions, young man. Live in the east part of town. Big guy, orange shirt. The password is 24342 or 320. Give him the package. Is that a guy that lives under the city? A lot of rumors about him. Okay. Glasses and tablets. There's no reason they wouldn't cut you out. Relationships are important. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this specific setup, not great, but I've definitely worked for retail where our wholesalers that did not have a retail component to their businesses were cool with us listing products as available and then special ordering them. But any store like this where he's willing to sell it wholesale but also has a retail component, I can't imagine doing this. Effectively, he's treating us as the delivery boy, which is, I guess, fine. But relationships are important. Also, do not stare into the sun, please, Benny. I have a package I was told to give it to you. 2 million and a half or more. Wait a minute. Something's wrong here. Wait, no, it seems like everything's correct. That was not the password. Okay. Forget about diseases. Buy health pills. No. No staring. No, Benny, don't be blind. No. Okay, let's pay this guy. So far, this is mostly very interesting business advice. Good afternoon. How can I help you? I saw that you sell books and I'm starting school soon, so I need a few and also a case. I'd like to see it first. Not sure if it's right for me. Send me your address. I'll bring books and cases. 1 month later. Oh my god, a whole month. Oh. Yeah, okay. So, that was cute. Again, I don't hate the information provided or the tips it gave. I think there were some really interesting things in there for self-reflecting on what you want to do. What you want to do and how, and not blowing all of your resources on one product, and thinking about your business thoroughly and thinking about what current sales trends and stuff are before you just go all in on something on a whim. Like, I think all of that is important. Being adaptive is important. Making connections with, if you're not making your products yourself, making connections with the people who make the products you want to sell and making arrangements with them that are beneficial to all parties in advance. There's a lot of stuff in there that's good. Being adaptive is really, really good. But yeah, interesting. I do think it has a lot of potential, and I'd be very curious what the finished product is going to look like on New Year's Eve of this year. 6 months is a long time to build the rest of this game, and I wonder how much more is already written and is just not in the playtest. But mechanically, it works. The platforming isn't bad. The sound design was really fun. Like, I did really like the music in the game. I'm curious if there's gonna be more talking noises other than just the police and cop lines, and otherwise nothing. The murmuring sounds. And I do understand why it was compared to Night in the Woods as far as, like, some of the platforming mechanics. If anybody else wants to play the playtest and get a feel for it, I do have 3 invites for Steam friends. So just, like, hit me up in the gaming channels of the Discord if you want later. But thank you to Noob, the developer and publisher of this game, for the review key and for trusting me with your playtest. And I know that I had some feedback on it, but I think that it's mostly agreeing on the character makes mistakes that you call out as mistakes in the game, while also reassuring people that when you're starting a new business or looking into starting a new business, you're going to be wrong about things and you're going to make mistakes, and you have to be prepared for that, and you have to be willing to accept that, or you're going to fail. But if you can prepare to be wrong sometimes and to learn and adapt, and be okay with making mistakes sometimes and adapting to those too, and not blowing everything on one idea or one inventory item just because you like it is really good. I think I've used flash drives like 6 times in the last decade, probably at this point. But I own like 20. I just don't use them very often anymore. Most of them just exist as like backups of things, and then I check them occasionally to make sure that they still work. But like, I don't know. I think that it's mostly really good advice, though. Consider if it applies to you if you're genuinely looking to start business, and also know that overselling things that you do not have the money to buy in advance is not good business. You have to at least have the money to buy the item that you are selling if you're not charging people up front for it. Like when we would custom order things for people at past stores, like I was talking about, that mostly worked not because wholesalers were willing to be like, yeah, I'll send you an item for free and then hope that you pay me back the appropriate amount in a timely fashion. No, it would be, hey, you'll have that in a week. And then they would pay. And then we would, they would pay, and then we would order it and we would keep the profit. Or friends who have Etsy stores or sell prints of theirs online through their own websites or whatever, as the case may be, who are like, we will ship in 1 week. You still pay for it when you bought it. And then they take that money to the print shop and go, hey, I need another print of this thing. And then they mail it to you. You don't have $0 in your bank account and go, hey, print shop, can you print my print? And I promise to come back and pay you in a week's time. So it is very unlikely that anyone would ever actually find a wholesaler willing to just be like, yeah, I hope you come back. But otherwise, again, this is a good representation of something that has a lot more nuance that people should look into if this catches their interest. And yes, Etsy specifically is a brutal mistress because Etsy's share of everything is so extreme nowadays. The last like 5 years, it's become really untenable. But thank you everybody for watching some financial freedom playtest tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you again, Noob and Keymailer. That was fun.